We come from different places, for stories of our own, but something calls us onward to lands we've never known. 'Cause deep inside we're dreaming of what we might become. The human mean is gleaming, a new world has begun. Beyond the far horizon, the dawn is breaking through. We're setting forth together to find our dream come true. The treasure that we're seeking, the place we're meant to be, has been beneath our feet. Now the whole world is home to me. The open road is waiting, let's leave the past behind. A new frontier is calling, adventures for us to find. 'Cause deep inside we're dreaming of what we might become. The human mean is gleaming, a new world has begun. Beyond the far horizon, the dawn is breaking through. We're setting forth together to find our dream come true. The treasure that we're seeking, the place we're meant to be, has been beneath our feet. Now the whole world is home to me. Beyond the far horizon, the dawn is breaking through. We're setting forth together to find our dream come true. The treasure that we're seeking, the place we're meant to be, has been beneath our feet. Now the whole world is home to me. Beyond the far horizon, that's where our heart is drawn. We'll make a new tomorrow, the journey carries on.
Welcome to the Human Meme Podcast. I'm your everlasting host, AI David Bowles. And today, along with our crackbot AI research team, we are prepared to surprise you today with this idea. Suspension of disbelief. How theater, religion, and politics shape our perceptions. Suspension of disbelief, as it is often understood today, traces its formal articulation to the English poet and philosopher Samuel Taylor Coleridge, who coined the phrase willing suspension of disbelief in 1817 in his critical work Biographia Literaria. Coleridge proposed that readers and audiences consciously set aside the knowledge that what they are witnessing is artificial in order to be moved, entertained, or enlightened by the piece of art before them. Yet the roots of this idea run back centuries earlier. Aristotle, in his Poetics, circa 335 BCE, discussed the audience's inclination to accept the improbable on stage for the sake of drama and catharsis. Early modern theatrical traditions, such as the plays of William Shakespeare in the late 16th and early 17th centuries, further tested this capacity by demanding that audiences picture foreign lands, living kings, fierce battles, and magical interventions, all enacted by a handful of players on a small wooden platform. The endurance of theater for millennia suggests that humans have an innate willingness to entertain and even embrace fiction, when it stirs our emotions and engages our imaginations. Films of the 20th century, especially in the wake of Georges Méliès's pioneering cinematic illusions in the early 1900s, carried this tradition of suspension of disbelief to a new dimension. Audiences were suddenly confronted with images so vivid that the rational mind could hardly ignore the fact they were invented spectacles. Yet viewers collectively chose to immerse themselves in those illusions to marvel at the storytelling. Films like Fritz Lang's Metropolis, 1927, or Orson Welles' Citizen Kane, 1941, hinge on our readiness to ignore the camera tricks, creative editing, or set designs, and instead focus on the emotional authenticity of the characters or the grandeur of the mise-en-scène. The power of cinema to immerse us in entirely invented worlds testifies to the breadth of our capacity to suspend disbelief. Whether it is advanced CGI in today's blockbusters or the simple hand-painted backdrops of silent-era pictures, the phenomenon endures because we inherently crave the sensations of wonder, suspense, empathy, and release. This same impulse to believe, or at least to accept, what might otherwise be questioned also threads through religion. From the establishment of the world's first organized religions in ancient Mesopotamia, circa 4th millennium BCE, humans have long sought frameworks to explain life's mysteries, from creation stories to moral codes. Within any specific tradition, whether Abrahamic faiths, Judaism, Christianity, and Islam, or Eastern systems like Hinduism or Buddhism, believers often accept metaphysical claims and narratives that those outside the tradition might find incredulous. They do so because they find meaning, comfort, identity, and cultural continuity in those beliefs. This does not mean that those beliefs are false or that the believer is naive. Rather, it mirrors how an audience at a theater might willingly embrace the improbable. A Christian may not hesitate to accept the resurrection of Jesus, whereas a non-Christian might remain unconvinced. The Christian's suspension of disbelief is informed by centuries of tradition, personal conviction, scriptural authority, and communal experience. Paradoxically, other religions, miracles, or doctrines may be met with skepticism by that same Christian, illustrating a curious interplay. Each faith requires its own unique form of disbelief suspension, yet the faithful often withhold that courtesy from competing narratives. Politics, in its own way, thrives on a similar dynamic. Throughout recorded history, from the Roman Republic of the 1st century BCE through the revolutionary fervor of the 18th century and up to the contemporary political climates worldwide, leaders and institutions rely on constructing compelling narratives and symbolic gestures that demand a certain level of public credence. Campaign promises, ideological manifestos, or nationalist mythologies frequently stretch plausibility. Yet many citizens embrace them if they resonate with personal hopes, grievances, or desires for belonging. Even when we are aware of the theatrical aspects of a political rally, stage-managed speeches, rousing anthems, and choreographed handshakes, we often choose to believe, at least temporarily, to maintain our sense of identity or solidarity. In everyday life, suspension of disbelief can appear in subtle acts we seldom notice. We trust magicians to show us illusions, and we gleefully pretend not to see the hidden wires or mirrors. We indulge children when they create imaginary friends or host tea parties with stuffed animals, knowing full well that no actual guest is present. Even in modern social media environments, We sometimes accept curated portrayals of someone's life, momentarily ignoring the knowledge that only a fraction of reality is revealed. The same principle applies. We are complicit in a gentle, often unspoken pact to treat fantasy, be it cinematic, religious, political, or social, as though it were real, if only for a moment. Yet beneath this layer of acceptance lies a revealing truth. The capacity to suspend disbelief underscores our intrinsic need for narrative, meaning, and collective participation. It affirms that we are not just rational beings, but emotional, story-driven creatures who seek out connection, wonder, and even reassurance in ideas that transcend our immediate, tangible reality. What we might be missing, if we only consider suspension of disbelief as a mechanism for enjoying art, is a broader recognition that this phenomenon underscores one of humanity's most defining attributes: the longing to be part of something larger than mere logic or personal experience. By examining religion, politics, and everyday illusions through this lens, we discover how society weaves its common threads of myth, identity, and aspiration. We also realize that our willingness to suspend disbelief can be a powerful tool for empathy and unity, seeing the world momentarily as another sees it. Yet it can also be a risk if exploited by deceptive leaders or taken to extremes that reject reason. In stepping into this next dimension of belief, we learn that acknowledging how frequently we stand on the threshold between acceptance and doubt, between logic and awe, can make us both more grounded skeptics and more open-hearted participants in the shared story of civilization. For the Human Meme Podcast, I'm AI David Bowles, wishing you a careful evening and a better tomorrow. Be a human meme.
We come from different places, for stories of our own, but something calls us onward to lands we've never known. 'Cause deep inside we're dreaming of what we might become. The human meme is gleaming, a new world has begun. Beyond the far horizon, the dawn is breaking through. We're setting forth together to find our dream come true. The treasure that we're seeking, the place we're meant to be, has been beneath our feet. Now the whole world is home to me. The open road is waiting, let's leave the past behind. A new frontier is calling, adventures for us to find. 'Cause deep inside we're dreaming of what we might become. The human meme is gleaming, a new world has begun. Beyond the far horizon, the dawn is breaking through. We're setting forth together to find our dream come true. The treasure that we're seeking, the place we're meant to be, has been beneath our feet. Now the whole world is home to me. Beyond the far horizon, the dawn is breaking through. We're setting forth together to find our dream come true. The treasure that we're seeking, the place we're meant to be, has been beneath our feet, now the whole world is home to me. Beyond the far horizon, that's where our heart is drawn.